start recording. So it is October 22nd, Thursday. So this week's going by pretty quick. It's our last live trading session of the week. And pretty much how these work, guys, is me and Nick are just going to go through all the pairs that we look at for potential trades for today. We'll try to put some lessons into it along with just doing our overall breakdowns from the higher time frames to the lower time frames. This will be recorded, put on YouTube afterwards. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just post in the chat, and we'll get to the questions more towards the end of the session. But hope you guys, learn a thing or two. And that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Nick, and let's pretty much get it kicked off.
Well, you can start off if you wanted to. Doesn't matter to me.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, we'll mix it up this time.
All right, so I'm going to get started. We're going to start off with DXY. So we're going to bump up to the monthly time frame. So guys, we'll always start on the higher time frames when we're looking at these pairs, just trying to get an overall idea of where the market is actually moving. So just give me 1 second. It's so annoying. Since the meeting is locked, I have to simultaneously admit people in while I'm doing this. Yeah. So let's see. So up on the monthly time frame, guys, as we can see, last month closed with a bullish engulfing candle right here, rejecting this monthly resistance level. Overall, we are still very bearish on this. As we can see, this month falling off a little bit. Let's just move down time frames from the monthly time frame to the weekly. So weekly time frame still overall very bearish, below the moving averages, everything like that. So where we mainly look for structure is going to be on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. So let's make our way down to those time frames and see where we can see things a little bit more clearly. Down to the daily time frame, obviously we see we broke this level of resistance, came up, made this new high. Now we just broke below this level of support right here. So daily time frames looking bearish, which is lining up with our higher time frames as well. Let's bump down now to the 4-hour. So 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame is bearish as well. We broke this low. So we're bearish on multiple time frames, and that's really what we're looking for. That's the name of the game here. So what we can do here is we can start to draw up potential trade opportunities and where we would look for potential setups and reversals on the higher time frame. So right here we have that resistance level, support turn resistance from the daily time frame. We've got this 38.2, got these moving averages. So this is going to be our first area where we're looking for potential reversal on DXY right here. So right now we're coming up into this level. Buyers are stepping in. We have this bullish engulfing candle right here. We could see rejection of this level. This still overall is very bearish on every single time frame. If we start to break this level and utilize this as support, then we're going to start to see a test of the 200-day. So right now, we're just looking to see how it reacts to this level. We still got a little bit of time left in this week. We've got 3 hours left on this candle. So still got like a bunch more candles left on this 4-hour time frame. So this is the outlook right now with DXY. It currently is bullish, but it's about to hit potential level of resistance. So we're going to have to see how it reacts to this level. So with that in mind, let's go over to other pairs. DXY is just the value of the US dollar. So as this thing is going up, dollar is appreciating, dollar is getting stronger. And then when it rejects, if it starts going down, then it's depreciating. So as we look at all of these major pairs, guys, this is going to line up mostly with them. As the dollar increases, UCAD will increase as well. It correlates pretty closely. So let's take a look at UCAD and let's take a look at where structure is and what's going on. So let's start all the way up on the monthly time frame. So monthly time frame, it's important to note moving averages are starting to cross here. We've been very bearish on this. We did find buyers at this weekly level and push up, but as we can see now, we're coming back and we're starting to get crossing the moving averages here, which is important. I could see us coming back down at least into this level. So let's make our way down time frames. Down to the weekly time frame, again, overall very bearish, below the moving averages. We're fighting this 200-day at the moment. And again, daily and 4 hour is really where we're going to start to decide where is our structure. Daily time frame still overall very bearish. And let's just break down this little leg here, 4 hour time frame. And let's just not get it confused. Let's keep it as simple as possible. So 4 hour time frame was making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, retest that lower low. Now we're in a little bit of a pullback. So let's fib this out. Boom. So this is the 50% level that we rejected around 61.8. Then we came down, pulled back, 38.2 level, came down, pulled back. So we're still within overall this downward push. We're still within this overall downtrend. We definitely have a resistance level right here. So pretty much anything below this level, guys, we're looking for sell opportunities. So as we start to come up, same thing as DXY, could see some more bullish movement to the upside. And then if that starts to reject, this is when we're going to look for sells. So we're going to go to the downside. We're going to sit on the 4 hour time frame. If we bump down to the 30-minute, we can very clearly see that 30-minute is forming this higher low. And this 4 hour time frame is where we're going to wait for the actual setup. So we've got the 38.2, we've got resistance. We need some sort of like bearish engulfing. Like, see how we have a bearish engulfing down at this level right here, but there's not multiple confirmations there. So ideally, we need an area with multiple confirmations that could potentially be this area up here. And, we're just bearish. We're bearish on this. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait and see until we see something. Could even bring on a little bit of a trend line. I'm just going to adjust it. Got our point A right here. So we're definitely still bearish. We're definitely within this entire downward push. So we're looking to go with shorts on UCAD. Nothing at the moment. We need to see a little bit more, a little bit more confirmation, but those are the confirmations right now. So let's move over to GU. Let's bump up to the higher time frame. Let's go up to the monthly here. So GU on this higher time frame, we were rejecting this level multiple times, 1, 2, 3 times right there. As you can see now, we're finding some support and we're really heading back into this level. This level is where all the sellers are at. So looks like we're heading back into that level down to the weekly. Overall, in the weekly, very bearish. We've hit this high so many times. And as we can see here, it looks like we're about to come back into that level. So let's just break this down, this little push to the upside, down to the daily and to the 4 hours. Same thing we've been doing. As we can see in the daily, very bullish. Moving averages have crossed right here. This thing has been riding buyers in these areas. And it finally pushed up to the upside. Earlier this week, we had been targeting a potential buy down in this area. We have this inverted hammer candle, which is a buying reversal candle right there. So this thing broke higher right there. Now we're coming back for a little bit of a retest, which is good. Let's just go to the 4 hour because this does not look clean on this time frame. We got all this going on. Let's hit the 4 hour and even the 1 hour. Let's hit the 1 hour. So even down to the 1 hour here, looking at some 1 hour structure, it looks a little bit choppy, but the only thing that we really need to look at the moment is this push right here. We broke to the upside. I'm just going to fib this from this low to this high. So as we can see, we're coming back to test this support level. I'm even going to hit up to the 4 hour. This will be a little bit cleaner. So we're coming back to this support level, resistance now turns support, and there is a potential opportunity here for a reversal. So we got 38.2, we've got this support level. So I will look for some buying signals there. To the downside, beyond that, we're gonna have to wait and see 61.8. There is a little bit of confirmation here. It's just resistance from these previous highs. So there is some confirmations there. And guys, we're always looking for at the least 3 confirmations to line up. So right now we've got this previous high, that's resistance. We've got 38.2, which is a nice fib level that reversals come off of. And then if we see price action, so some sort of bullish engulfing, anything like that, then we could look for a price action entry on a lower time frame. So I'm going to just map this out. We're looking to buy at this level, and we're going to target those highs right there. And this correlates very well with everything else that we've been looking at. So that's GU. And again, just looking at market structure, guys, just drawing it out. This is how we've been trending ever since. Let's start all the way to the left here. So this is going to be 4-hour market structure. We came down, made this low, made this lower high, made this low, made this lower high, broke to the upside, started to consolidate within this area. And then now we just broke to the upside again. So let's take all of this off. This. Let's adjust these charts. Delete this. So pretty much, guys, we're in this downtrend, came up, made this lower high. If we were to fib this, this would have been a 38.2 area right there. Then we pushed, we broke 0% level, so we adjust our fibs again down to this level. Drag this across, and then what happened here is we came up to 100%. We actually found some rejection. And then we broke to the downside right here. We started to reject that 61.8 level within this fib. So we had this downtrend fib. And then what happened? We broke to the upside. So as soon as that happens, guys, we flip it around. Now we're looking for the first higher low. And as we can see, we had retested this 78.6 level 1, 2, 3 times. So we were testing this level 3 times. We were still bullish. We had these lower highs forming. So price was just being squeezed to the downside here. And then we just popped up. And that's where we're currently at now. We're currently in this uptrend. We've got our targets. Our targets are this weekly level up here, and that lines up as well with that -27. So I'm just going to bring on everything back onto the charts. Right here, boom. So it's lining up pretty well. Momentum's very bullish. So this thing could definitely show us a nice opportunity here. So that's GU. Let's bump over now to NU. Let's go up to the monthly time frame. So all the way up to the monthly time frame, one thing that I keep noting on NU that we can see is we've got right here, we've got the moving averages crossing. So a lot of buyers are stepping in at the moment on NU. A lot of buyers are in the market. We're getting some wicks to the downside. So buyers continue to step in. Let's just continue to break this down. So weekly time frame, we have this high right here that was tested multiple times, 1, 2, 3 times and rejected. We're still below the 200-day. So on the monthly and weekly, we are overall in a bearish trend, but buyers have taken control and are stepping in. Buyers are definitely in control right now. So let's just hit the daily. Let's take a look on the daily time frame. What is structure looking like for us? And we could even break this down further to the 4 hour. So daily time frame, we had this higher low, higher high, higher low here, higher high here, and then we broke below this support level right here. We started to retest this. We had these 2 bullish engulfing candles right here, so a lot of buyers are stepping in. So we're trying to break this down further to the 4 hour time frame because the 4 hour is going to be very important for us. So we've got one of 2 opportunities here, and I'm glad that we can size this up because if DXY goes either way, we're going to get some sort of opportunity. Pretty much we had this trend line. We can see the trend line just broke, found support. So we're solidly above that level. This is that daily level. We're finding support above there. And pretty much just like that last exercise we did, this is market structure right now. Really choppy. But we're going to break this down. This is the 4 hour time frame. Let's go to the, let's keep it on here. Let's take all of these off. And let's take this off as well. And then we can just straighten this out a little bit. All right. So this is the 4 hour. We had our fib from our previous high to our new low, came up to 50% level, came down, came up 50% level. Then we made another lower high here. So came up, made a higher low, made a lower high. Very choppy market, very choppy, very ugly. And then we finally just broke above. So we finally just broke above this level right here, which tells me all I need to know. And we just broke above that resistance level. So I'm just going to take this off and we're going to bring the candles back on this. So we just broke above this level. We broke above the 200-day. This is lining up with those other pairs as well. We're lining up with DXY continuing to head lower. As we can see coming back here, lining up with UCAD, looking for that resistance at this level. GU, looking for support at this level. NU, we're looking to continue higher. We're looking to continue to go higher. As we can see on the weekly time frame, our targets are going to be the 200-day, this upper level up here. Let's see one thing. So this upper level up here, we're looking to target. We're still above the moving averages here. Daily time frame, moving averages cross to be bullish here, and they're maintaining. So definitely bullish there. And then all the way down to the 1 hour time frame, just broke this high right here, came up, retested that trend line, formed this higher low right there. So guys, if you did want to enter on this, there could be an entry opportunity. Really at the moment, we had a break, retested, came up, retested, bullish engulfing candle right there. We're at multiple levels of support. If you were to enter on this, I would put stops down near this level. And then again, where are we targeting? We're targeting these previous highs up here. We're waiting to see if this thing will accelerate to the upside. So this is a potential trade. I would do half your risk on this, but there are a lot of confirmations here. So we're going to keep this trade in mind. I'm going to see how this 30-minute candle closes towards the end of this session. And, we'll put out a potential trade for NU. So I'm going to line this up, move this to the top here. And then let's go over now to EU. So
Wow.
EU, yeah, this thing's looking nice.
Big movement.
Let's bump up to higher time frame. So on the monthly time frame on EU, we would hit this weekly level, bearish engulfing candle right here. Now we're pulling back to retest. So let's just break this all down. As you can see here, we're very bullish on this, but we got to just focus on price action right now. Weekly time frame, still very bullish, still maintaining above the moving averages. But we are at this resistance level. We are hitting resistance there, so it's something to take note of. Daily time frame, still very much bullish. Moving averages crossed, respected this trend line. We're hitting this previous daily high right there and coming back, and then down to the 4 hour. So we are falling off from this level. I'm just going to take this off. This was a supply zone that I had marked right there. So a lot of sellers previously were at this level. As we could see, sellers step back in. Now we're coming back to this high right now. This high can either act as support or see how previously sellers stepped in and just dropped. Or this could, continue it to accelerate this downtrend right into this trend line down here. So 4 hour time frame is looking very bullish. We broke this high. I'm just going to fib this from this high. We've got the 38.2 lining up directly with the weekly. So this is going to be our first opportunity for buys. If this breaks, then we're going to look for sells all the way into this trend line. So I'm going to hit the 30-minute time frame. As we can see, we made this lower high. What we need to see to enter here, guys, is we need to see the 30-minute do the same thing that it just did. So we're going to need, let's bring on the bars pattern. This, we're going to need some sort of pullback off this level. And if it starts to find a lot of rejection, then we're going to see it head to the downside. So potential trade opportunity on EU is going to come today. We're going to keep you guys updated on this. We are looking to short this if this thing does continue to accelerate lower and gives us a lower high. So we're only going to enter if we see some sort of lower high on this. We got some people in the chat. It's okay.
I was Nas looking.
Right.
Nas 100.
I've never looked at Nas before. All right. Let's look at
Like once.
I've never even looked at it. All right, let's bump up to the monthly time frame on USEF. So looks very similar to EU. We just hit this monthly level, got this bullish engulfing candle at that level, and overall red over blue. So that's the story that this market's telling us. Weekly time frame, still red over blue, still very much bearish, but we are hitting this support level that has not been broken since pretty much 2015. This thing hasn't been broken since 2015. So it's been a minute, and we got to be mindful of that. So definitely a lot of buyers are at this level. Down to the daily time frame, again, down to the daily, everything is still looking bearish. We just broke the support level. The only thing I'm holding on to, guys, is this level. This level has not broken. So it's really, I don't want to just take sells to the downside and just sell the shit out of this when this level hasn't broken in a minute. But going along with what we do, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, just downtrend structure all the way on this. If we were to fib this out and just stick on the 4 hour, structure, where would a potential, entry opportunity be for us? We had this supply zone or demand zone right here. I'm gonna drag this across. So this is just that previous low. Really what we're looking for is this level to potentially reject. So as we're coming up, this is the level of multiple confirmations, 38.2 resistance. All we need is some sort of bearish engulfing candle at this level. On the flip side, look at 30-minute structure, guys. If 30-minute comes up here, comes down, forms a higher low, breaks 200-day, then we're going to look for buys. So, two sides of the market right now. This thing's going to either continue this 30-minute trend that it's currently in, or we're going to go to the downside. Another thing to look at as I'm looking at this is we've got a little bit of a flag pattern forming on this 30-minute time frame. So bearish push, flag. So we're just looking for it to fall out of this. We're looking for it to fall out of this. So I'm going to move this one up the list as well. We're going to move it up here. So we've got EU. We've got this. All right. So EU, NU, and USEF are going to be the main pairs that I'm looking at for today to get into trades. UCAD and GU are still a little bit of a ways away. I'm sitting on the 4 hour on these guys, waiting to see if we can find some support here. And last but not least, I'm going to go into GJ right here. Let's bump up to the monthly time frame on GJ. So just kind of one look on here, monthly, bearish. We're being squeezed at this level, moving averages, still red over blue. If we were to take off this right here, oh, is it red over blue? Starting to get squeezed. So they're actually starting to cross a little bit, blue over red. So buyers are stepping in. So let's keep that in mind. Let's bring these candlesticks back on. Right here, let's move down to the weekly. So weekly overall is bearish, but we're not at a key resistance level, guys. The resistance is up here. Monthly resistance trend line, 200-day previous high. We're not at a key resistance, so I am looking for buys. So down to the daily, it has been bullish, made this high, pulled back, made this higher low. Everything's blue over red, 200-day, blue over red. Everything's blue over red here. So let's go down to the 4 hour. Look at the chop here. So 4 hour time frame. Let's try to clear this up a little bit more. Let's start all the way to the left here. So we've got lower lows, lower highs. Then we came up to retest this, broke this, made this new high, came down, retested this again. And then now we're just pushing to the upside here. So this is where we're at right now. This is what we had marked out yesterday. So it is following trend pretty well. Let's take off these candlesticks. We'll take all this off right here. And let's try to make sense of market structure and clean this up a little bit. So we formed this lower low, came up, lower high, lower low. As we try to go over in our course, just teaching market structure very simply. This was the level that needed to break right here, came up, broke that level. This is when we'll flip around our fibs to be bullish, and that's when we're looking for our first higher low. Came down to 78.6, found support, came up right here, broke the 0% level. So this is when we'll move our fibs to our new high, and then move this up. And then what happened here is we're still within this fib. We're still within this fib right here, hit 100% level twice, found support, came up, hit 61.8 level, came up. Now we're near the 38.2, pulling back. So this thing is still within this fib, and this is okay. All this movement, it's okay because it retraced so deep in here. So it's not going to go just from 100 to negative 27. It's going to start to trend. So let's bring everything back on. Let's take this off right here. And let's just focus in on where we're actually at right now. So this is, like we said, still very much bullish. Let's hit the 30-minute. 30-minute time frame is where we're going to look for potential entries on this right now. We could bring on a little bit of a trend line here. So this has been respected. We got point A here, point B right here. Delete that. We got the 200-day here, got 38.2 right here. And pretty much, guys, what I'm looking for is if we get some sort of bullish variation through these moving averages. So if we find support here and we start to push up, very similar to this. This is what we need. We need to come down, find support, start to transition with the moving averages, just like this level. So this is also going to be a pair that we're looking at for today. Boom. So we're going to need to see that happen right here. Then we'll enter, we'll put stops below the 200, right below this level. And we'll look to long this and continue with that 4 hour. So that's GJ. That's all the pairs I have to go over. GJ is on my watch list for today. So I'm going to come down here, come on to back to the major pairs. Make sure all of these are the right ones here. All right, cool. And then come back here. I'm not looking at NSEF for today, so I'm going to take this off. So my watch list, I've got GJ, EU, NU, and USEF. Looking for potential trades on all of those. I'll drop those in the premium analysis inside the paid group. And then we also went over UCAD and GU. So sitting on the 4 hour and waiting for setups for those. So that's all the pairs that I have over for today. I'm going to pass it over to Nick. But first, if you guys want to get in on the giveaway today, just put your name in the chat. Put your Discord name in the chat, not just your name. No one gives a fuck about that. So put your Discord name in the chat, and we'll get you guys entered into the giveaway. I'm going to announce it today. So make sure you guys do that, and hope you guys enjoyed that analysis. If you have any questions, just put in the chat. We'll cover at the end. So I'm going to pass it over to Nick, and he's going to get into it.
All right. Very nice. Solid analysis. Some good setups, specifically on NU and GJ from Angelo's analysis. So that's something we can look forward to and see how they play out. But we're going to get into some others here. We're going to cover DXY a little bit too, kind of just reiterating what Angelo said and just kind of reinforcing his sentiment here. How we recently got a break lower, huge push lower. Now here's the retest. And this is the area where we need to see how price action reacts to. Again, there's going to be two scenarios here, whether it's going to be a bounce, or we're going to confirm lower high, a continuation lower, or we'll get a break to the upside, and then we'll have to reanalyze. If we get a break and a higher low back into this pattern, we're going to reanalyze this and just kind of reevaluate. But it's definitely looking super bearish. So if this move happens, the NU, the long opportunity on NU that Angelo went over, this lines up with that. So that would be a really nice push to the upside on NU, but also something very similar on AU here, which is going to be the first pair we get into, right? So we had a huge, here, let me go over this. We had a huge drop. Oops, where'd it go? All right, we had a huge drop, and that pushed AU up. We had a slight pullback that's occurring on DXY right now. That's what this is right here, this little pullback. So again, it's at a key level on DXY. It's at a key level on AU. We're going to see how it reacts here and kind of determine from there. So let's go to the daily time frame real quick on DXY. Okay, so if this does continue bearish, we're looking for this trend line first and then potentially this monthly. Okay, so the trend line is pretty much the only level of support before that monthly zone. So look how far it could drop. This is the leg realistically we're looking at. This drop all the way down to this monthly. That's the potential. All right, so that's AU. USD, very, very bearish. All right, so let's jump on AU. We're going to do a top-down analysis starting on the daily, and let's just work our way down. Let's just identify sentiment here on the daily first. So we were very bearish for a while. We broke key support, huge bearish movement, lower lows, lower highs. Then this is all Corona. We had a quick pullback, pretty much 100% pullback all the way to this monthly zone, where we rejected at first, formed a pattern, and then finally broke. Now, if we look left, this is a weekly lower high. So this counts as weekly break of structure. So now that changes the weekly trend from bearish to bullish. Okay, so with that, we can drop down timeframes and get a closer look at this more current price action. Okay, so here's the break. This was the break of that monthly zone. We started getting higher lows, a little ascending channel. So that confirmed the change of trend. All right, so we had a nice steady channel here. All these daily higher lows finally broke one on this huge bearish leg. So the daily time frame was then broken and now bearish. So weekly's bullish, daily's bearish. We had tons of consolidation here. Just all these zones are being tested, both this daily and this 4 hour where this higher low was, right? But then we saw a break of that higher low and it made a nice push into this monthly zone. All right, so then it reversed from there. We then broke back above this 4 hour zone. So 4 hours bullish, weekly's bullish, daily's bearish. Let's go to the 1 hour. Get an even closer look. Okay, so here was a little flag pattern. It dropped lower. This was a little 1 hour break of structure. Came back up to test it and then just pushed through it and then gave us a higher low instead off this 4 hour zone. So this took a lot of momentum to break these two zones, this 1 hour and this 4 hour. Very likely that it could be, continuing bullish here. So what do we need to see to go long? I'll go to the 30-minute so I can mark this up for you guys. Okay, so pretty much from here, we just want to see some sort of conviction. So ideally, let's see, we want this whole area to break right here. Okay, so actually ideally this would be like a little 1 hour level. Nothing, not too major. This is just a little 1 hour level right here. Okay. Okay, so now that we're trending, right, we want to just highlight these little resistance levels. So this is a little 1 hour level. Ideally, we just want to see some sort of conviction candle closing above the MAs and preferably closing above that 1 hour. So honestly, and engulfing the size of that, like just pushing up and closing here, that could be a good enough entry. In which case, we're making a play. Making a trade into this zone first. Let's pick our target on the 4 hour. Okay, so ideally, we're looking to test this daily zone again. So this is going to be the trade. Looking to get 80 pips. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Adjust it. There we go. Looking a little bit better. There we go. All right, cool. So we're looking to get 80 pips. We're going to call it 80. So risking 35 to get 80. This is a 2.23 risk reward. Great trade. And honestly, this just, any sort of conviction closure above that 1 hour and through these MAs would be enough to enter. And then that's it. We're targeting into that daily zone, and then we'll reanalyze, see if the trend's going to continue bullish or if it's going to reverse, and whatever. We'll just have to reanalyze once this trade is completed and once this daily zone is tested. All right, so nice little long opportunity with AU. Again, this is just like NU. It looks very, very similar, very, very similar setup. So yeah, if one takes off, the other one should follow. All right, let's move on to AJ. Let's clear that. Go right to the daily time frame. We just want to understand sentiment on this one. So we look to the left, very bearish, huge supporting trend, a resisting trend line there. But we did get a change of trend technically because this was a weekly lower high. We saw a break, got a higher low off that zone, and then a nice, pretty stable bullish trend here. So weekly time frame, we had a weekly break of structure, so the weekly time frame is bullish. Okay, let's drop to the 4 hour. Take a look at what happened up here. All right, so this is that key zone, this monthly zone here. We trended above this zone, higher low, failed to break higher. And again, so it broke this higher low here. It's a daily higher low, so that daily time frame is a break of structure, and it's bearish. So weekly's bullish, daily's bearish. We had a nice, once it broke, it came back down to test that weekly zone, gave us a double bottom, pulled back up, started ranging a little bit, shot up to test the daily, and then reversed pretty quickly back into this range. Kind of blew through these higher lows here on the 4 hours. So, 4-hour time frame is bearish. So weekly bullish, daily bearish, 4-hour bearish. So it's definitely looking more bearish than anything else right now. Let's drop to the 1 hour. Okay, so we got some fibs here. Here's that 4-hour break. It pushed lower, pulled back, gave us this little flag pattern, essentially double topped and then dropped. So now we're just consolidating at a new low. There's a nice little, pretty much a rectangle pattern right here. You guys see that? Do a border check. Oh, background. Oops. My bad. All right. There we go. All right, cool. So a little rectangle pattern. And usually this is a continuation, but it could kind of go either way, seeing that key support is right here at this weekly zone. So, and we'll have to be safe. Let me draw up 2 scenarios in a second. You just adjust these levels. Okay, let me just check the 4-hour real quick. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna have to do. I think this may be too low to take a short into this weekly zone. So like ideally you want to play a rectangle like this. Wait for a break and retest, target lower towards major support or resistance if it broke to the upside. But this is too close. Like this is, how many pips is this? 20 pips, there's no trade there. So I want to see how it reacts at this weekly zone. If we saw something like this, where we get a huge push, right? Then we can refib, look for some sort of continuation after a break and retest of this major zone. So, I mean, I do want to short this because, the bias is definitely bearish here, but just because this weekly zone is so significant, I want to wait for a break of that to feel comfortable taking a trade at the current, position where price action is. So that's the bearish scenario. Really just want to wait on this one. However, if this does break to the upside, we want to see this. What the hell? All right, there we go. We'll just leave it there. All right, so if this breaks to the upside, kind of the same scenario here. Like if we get a nice higher low, you could take a pretty aggressive trade into this 4-hour zone, but it's only 40 pips. So ideally, you want to wait for a break of the 4-hour zone to get into a larger move and then target into, more key resistance levels. So let's do this. Okay, so let's jump up time frames now to see if our target makes sense. Okay, so yeah, so if this breaks long, you want to wait for a break of this 4-hour zone and confirmed by a higher low, and then you could target higher towards 76 flat and the monthly at 76.5 and so on. So this could be a really nice trade. Let's go to the 1 hour and kind of mark it up, the potential for this. Oh man, there we go. 100 pips, not bad. So this would be a massive trade. At least a 4-to-1, I would say. 25 pips, maybe 30 pips actually. So at least 3-to-1, 3.5-to-1. Absolutely insane. I'll even drop this to 100 pips. So there you go, 3.33-to-1. Probably could adjust this a little bit differently too to get an even better risk to reward. But yeah, so this is the play we're looking for if we see a break to the upside. Just look for a higher low above 75 flat and look to go long on some conviction candles. So that's AJ. Not bad, but this consolidation, you got to wait it out. You can't take a trade there. All right, so next is UJ. Let's go to the daily time frame to start. I just want to show you guys how bearish this is. This is the daily time frame. All the way back here is 2015. Super, super bearish. Tons of lows. Every single lower high in here is just bearish across the board. So if there's one thing you guys can notice about this chart right here on this daily is that this is a giant descending triangle, right? So this means we have a key support, which happens to be at 104.5, and then tons of lower highs, kind of narrowing price action here. So these ranges are getting tighter and tighter, price action is getting squeezed. And when this happens, price action is going to make an aggressive move. It's going to make a really nice push to the upper downside. And so, yeah, we'll just wait for this pattern to play out. We've been waiting for quite a while, since 2016, but just want to bring this to your awareness, right? Super, super bearish as of right now. So let's go to the 4-hour, get a closer look at what's going on here. Okay. All right. So we know that we're super bearish on the daily time frame. Now we're at the bottom of this pattern. Here's key support at 104.5, which is that supporting level for the triangle on the daily time frame. But we recently had a push lower. Then we had right here, we had this like lower time frame break, this higher low, price action dropped right into our support zone, pulled back, and now it rejected off the 88.6, this 106 handle right here. And it's gave us this kind of advanced head and shoulders where we got the left shoulder, but it's just made up of consolidation. Quick rip to the neckline, head, then another consolidating right shoulder. So this one was kind of a harder head and shoulders to trade, but there was an opportunity off the 786 when we saw this rejection. Massive rejection off the 200 EMA, this 1 hour zone, the 786, and then it just melted. If the only entry on this that was really possible was pretty much this bearish variation here. Any of these bearish candles, you just saw that the momentum was picking up. If you were not early on this, early on identifying this as a right shoulder and this as the push, especially after these MAs crossed, you just would have missed the trade. There's no way you would have caught this. You need to be watching pretty much in this 4-hour window, 4 to 8 hour window right in here. So, it was a nice little drop. Nice little drop. But, where do we go from here, guys, right? So we actually have something interesting is we had this huge push. So last time, we saw a huge push. We get a deep fib pullback and then a continuation. So I think this is definitely due for a pullback. I don't think this push right here has the momentum to break this support that's been holding for years, literally. So I think it's going to pull back. And then we'll, if we do see the right entry, we'll take the entry, not expecting the support to break, but, just to get in on a good potential trade. And if it does break, we're there. We're entering on all of our rules. We're not really forcing anything. Classic break and retest, guys. Classic break, retest. This is a play that we look for pretty much all the time. And this would be textbook. So it would be a 50% rejection, but that's okay. We just want to see that this forms a lower high. Ideally crosses through some MAs, nice bearish setups, then we'll target lower. But, we've kind of been stalking this massive trade on UJ. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm saying this massive trade on UJ because we've been waiting for this damn pattern to break for so long. And every time it gets to this level, it just pulls back so sharply. So, I think if price action holds down here, or even if it consolidates at this low, that hints to us that it's weakening, that the sellers are weakening, that the support zone is weakening. We keep touching it. We keep getting closer to this level. Price action keeps getting closer and closer to this level. So eventually it's going to break. So if we can catch the beginning of this break, it could be absolutely massive because this thing could run so friggin' far. So let's do this. It could run on this push well into the zone, at least a third into the zone before any sort of pullback, right? And then we would get out and then look for re-entries like that. So that's how we're going to confirm that we're now into this new zone, this new range here, and that we're headed down towards lower support. Really just want to see a confirmed break of 104.5. All right, so that's the only trade we're looking at right now here is, maybe will this finally be the break? It all depends on how this plays out. So ideally, nice pullback, enter on a lower high, bearish setups, and then that's it. Okay. But if you guys go to the daily real quick, just double check your targets. Does this make sense? Yeah, I think absolutely. So if you even measured, here, we'll do this for good measure. Screw it. We'll do this. I mean, it did push and then pull back. So we're looking for this. So some sort of push lower, like so. Consolidation, push lower, break of the zone, pull back, and then continuation lower again. Okay, so basically that. Basically this. Looking for something like that. Okay? That's where we're entering, right in here. Oops. There we go. Entering on an engulfing in there or something. Okay, for the second entry. The first one we just went over, you guys know that already. This would be the larger play, trying to turn this day trade into a swing trade, if you will, and play it down towards the monthly. So this is a shitload of pips, 300 right there. Would be happy to make that trade. So that's UJ. Let's move on to EJ, and then we'll wrap it up with gold. And then daily time frame to start on EJ. Look to the left, super bearish, super steep channel. Like honestly, one of the best channels I've seen ever. It's EJ's nuts. So we were very bearish.
This guy sounds like he's about to go jerk off from the channel.
Dude, look at this channel. Tell me you've seen a nice channel.
Oh yeah, it's solid.
He's talking about that EJ channel? It's like, yes.
Yes.
Yes, he is. All right. Oh, I know exactly what he's talking about. All right, so we were very bearish, guys. Tons of weekly lower highs here. We finally changed that trend once this broke. So once this huge rally happened, we broke this set of lower highs, weekly lower highs, confirmed it with a higher low. So that's a weekly change of trend from bearish to bullish. And then to follow a huge rally into this monthly resistance at 126.5. So once price action reached here, kind of consolidated for a little bit, gave us a slow developing reversal, but the signals were there. You know, started getting some lower highs, some breaks of higher lows, and daily structure. So on that, we could drop lower. Okay, so we know that the daily is bullish, and then here the daily is bearish because these are daily higher lows. Price action broke that and then retested it and then rejected it twice. So this is definitely a confirmed zone, daily resistance. So with that, we know the daily time frame is bearish, that trend. Weekly is bullish. Let's see what else we can find. So after the daily break, we had a drop all the way to the 61.8 level where we saw consolidation plus a reversal. Broke this lower high, so the 4 hour is bullish. And now we have this range established. So we have two lows, two highs. No break of this range yet, but it's definitely holding. Definitely very, very strong, this range here. So to make the best play, we're looking for a break to the upside with a confirmed higher low, or break to the downside with a confirmed lower high. Now, I know somebody in here is thinking, oh, well, why not just short and buy the range? You can. But with that, there's more risk involved, right? So more risk involved rather than waiting for a break and retest is what I mean. So you could short this. Sure, short the shit out of this every time it hits this daily. Get your 170 pips on each swing here. That's fine. You can do that. That's definitely acceptable. The strategy still applies to it, but there's more risk. So I'm not going to go over those trade options of just buying or selling the range because I want to give you guys the highest quality trade. So that lies with break and retests. So this is what we're looking at. Really just got to play this one out, wait this one out, see how it develops next week. Want to see a break with a higher low, break with a lower high. And then we'll choose, or we have our targets chosen, but we'll see which trade, plays out. Looking to get down towards this weekly break down here or towards this monthly resistance back up here. So that's EJ. Kind of shorter analysis on this one, but there's really not much to say. I mean, it's forming good structure. It's definitely respecting these levels. I like the volume, but I just want to see something a little more perfect according to our strategy. All right, so that's EJ. Let's jump over to gold, which looks just like EJ, to be honest. But jump over to gold and do a top down on this one. Last pair here, guys. Super bullish on the daily time frame. Not much to say other than it's just super bullish. We saw a break of 1800 and it just shot straight up to 2070. Pulled back, gave us a little pattern here. So let's drop down on that note. All right, so here's this this was a giant descending triangle where key support was 1930. Lots of lower highs. So descending triangle, either way, these are daily higher lows. We saw a break of that. That changed the daily trend to bearish. Okay, so the daily time frame trend is bearish, right? We shot down to 61.8, just like we saw in EJ. Pulled back, broke a lower high, broke a 4 hour structure level. So the 4 hours bullish. Okay, weekly's bullish, 4 hours bullish, daily's bearish. Okay, so we between these two zones, this 4 hour zone, this daily zone, it's just consolidation. I mean, you could try and find some patterns in here. It looked like we had the potential for a head and shoulders. Didn't develop clearly. We're getting higher lows, not lower highs. That's not how head and shoulders fully forms. So that is invalid. So all that's left really here is consolidation. It's just chop. There are like some minor levels here. You could get a little hint that price action is creeping up. We have a little supporting trend line here. I would use this as kind of your tool for while price action remains within this range. So you can see it's kind of dividing this range and price action is getting squeezed into the upper half. Could that mean that it's leaning more towards a break to the upside? Maybe. I would not disagree with that. Gold has just been inherently bullish for a while. People are always going to buy gold. It's definitely going to appreciate. We haven't seen its all-time high yet. It's still on its way up. So this makes sense. It could break. Look for a long opportunity on a higher low confirmation just above 1930, and then that could be a really massive trade targeting prior highs. All these highs here, and then ultimately back up to 2070, where our high was, all the way back here in August. All right, so that's the bullish outlook. Always going to favor a bullish outlook on gold personally, but let's go over the bearish scenario. Let's say this happens within the range first, right? Let's say it does this. I would then say to myself, it's still in the range, but I'm saying, all right, this thing is kind of transitioning to be more bearish, right? We're getting a lower high within the range. Maybe it's hinting at a break. So that's how I would address movement within the range. But regardless, I'm still waiting for a break of the 4 hours. So I'd be looking for an entry on a lower high just below 1875. And then I'm looking to make a play into major support at our weekly. And then, of course, back down towards 1800, our key psychological level. All right, so quick. Let's just check our work. Jumping up time frames to see if our targets make sense, guys. All right, so if it breaks higher, higher low, targeting all these highs, and then, of course, the highest high, makes sense. Perfect. If it continues with this little daily bearish trend, to see a leg down towards this 1800 handle is not unlikely. Let's get a measurement of the last push. Where does it find us? Exactly at 1800. So not unlikely, right? But we got to wait on it. This could be a really nice trade. I do, however, just want to do a quick little markup. I want to mark up a short opportunity just so I can get an idea of a risk to reward. And then that's going to conclude our analysis. So let's just end it with this one. Already, oh shit. All right, already a 2-to-1 or 2.5 at least. But yeah, this is pretty much it. 250 pips, 250 pips here to get about 650. So simpler way of translating this to how we know pips. It's basically 25 for 65. Okay. But on gold, everything is pretty much times 10. So your lot size would be super small with this. So 250 pips to get 650. The risk to reward is still something that we would be looking for. So 2.5, 2.6 risk to reward. So not bad. Not bad at all. All right, quick recap, guys. Covered DXY, which is rejecting the zone very nicely right now off these MAs. Definitely something we want to see. Looking nice. AU could be going long. AJ undecided. UJ short. EJ undecided. Gold undecided. All right, guys. So that has been another live trading session, another productive session, guys. And that's going to be the last one for the week. The next time we're going to see you guys is going to be Sunday for the Sunday Market Blitz. So if you guys have any questions, we could take a few now, drop them in chat. Drop your name, your Discord name if you haven't already to be included in the giveaway. But yeah, guys, not a bad week. Not a bad week at all.
Yeah, solid work this week, guys. Like Nick said, last live trading session of the week. This was a good session, a little bit longer than normal, but we covered a lot. So hope you guys got a nugget or two
Yeah,
from
some good lessons were covered. You did a nice little structure bit. That was helpful.
yeah. And if you guys obviously if you guys want to learn more, hop over to YouTube, hop over to our
Or
channel.
message us on Discord. That too.
Yeah, message us on Discord. Hop over to YouTube. We've got a bunch of free material for you guys. The community for the most part is free. We do have the paid premium sections, the signals, our full course. If you want the one-on-ones, if you guys want to get more access to us, then invest in the full course. We get positive feedback from it all the time. But there is a lot of free material out there. I know a lot of you, want the free material. So it is out there for you guys that do want to get in on the course. As we've talked about all week, we've got this sale going on right now. We've got 7 spots left. Everything pictured is going to be included. So if you guys want to get in, it's 40% off. Just shoot us a message after this, and we'll get you guys onboarded. We'll get you guys started with this. We start the Zoom sessions at 8 a.m. EST. If you're new here, they start at 8 a.m. Eastern time. That's when me and Nick are in New Jersey. So they start 8 a.m. Next one's going to be on Sunday at 8 p.m. EST. Just look in the chats, the Telegram, the Discord. We post the updates in there, all the instructions on how to get started. And yeah, as always, appreciate the positive feedback. Appreciate you guys sticking around, for the full session. And if you want in on this, just shoot us a message. If not, continue to come through, and we'll see you guys in the next live training session.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the week and enjoy your weekend. See you
Let's
guys
get
Sunday.
it. All right. Peace out, everybody.